Pictured here is the Tdap vaccine, which protects against diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. Staff photo by Brianna Sukup / Portland Press Herald via Getty Images. Getty. Hello tetanus, my old friend. Didn't Darla Shine tweet that she wanted childhood diseases back? Well, tetanus would be one of the diseases making a comeback if vaccination rates continue to drop. But as a just-released Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, report shows, tetanus is not your friend, unless you like being stiffed by friends. In this case, stiffed doesn't just mean snubbed or cheated. Tetanus stiff means your muscles becoming so stiff to the point that they don't work and you may die. As a reminder, here's what Shine, author, podcast host, and wife of the Trump White House Communications Director Bill Shine, had tweeted. Here we go LOL #measles outbreak on #CNN #fake #hysteria. The entire baby boom population alive today had the #measles as kids bring back our #childhood diseases. They keep you healthy and fight cancer. Darla Shine, at Darla Shine, February 13, 2019. How could getting a vaccine preventable childhood disease possibly help you fight cancer? Perhaps, as factcheck.org explained, Shine was referring to scientists trying to use weakened versions of the measles virus to try to kill cancer cells, with the emphasis on the word try. This would be very different from allowing yourself to get the measles, thinking that it somehow would help you fight cancer in the future. Plus, not everyone in the baby boomer generation who got childhood diseases survived. While not everyone on Twitter is a real human being, dead people can't tweet responses. If you question the severity and risks of these vaccine-preventable diseases, just look at the CDC report published in the Mortality and Morbidity Weekly Report, MMWR, that described the 2017 ordeal of a 6-year-old Oregonian boy who, guess what, didn't get any immunizations including the tetanus vaccine. This was the first reported case of a child getting tetanus in Oregon in over 30 years. Everything started when the boy suffered a cut to his head while playing outdoors on a farm. His parents did not take him to a doctor but instead cleaned and sutured his wound at home. Yes, you heard that correctly, sutured his wound at home. Here's the problem with dirt, it is dirty. It can contain lots of different microorganisms. One of them is a bacteria, Clostridium tetani. The spores of this bacteria can be in dirt, as well as in poop and in dust. Thus if you get a cut in your body, such spores can then get into your body. Add this to the list of reasons why you shouldn't rub dirt, poop, or dust on your wounds. Inside your body the spores grow into bacteria and then secrete a bad toxin called tetanospasmin. This can take anywhere between a few days to 3 weeks to occur, on average 8 days. This toxin can then block signals from transmitting across the nerves that control your muscles. As a result, you can get painful spasms and stiffness in muscles all around your body, including those that control your swallowing and breathing. A common place to get such stiffness is your jaw. This is why tetanus is also known as lockjaw. This child began developing symptoms 6 days after his accident. These included episodes of crying, jaw clenching, and involuntary upper extremity muscle spasms, followed by arching of the neck and back, epistetonus, and generalized spasticity, as described in the report. Then, he started having difficulty breathing, which prompted the parents to contact emergency medical services. To give you a sense of the severity of his condition, he had to be airlifted to the hospital. When he got to the hospital, he had spasms in his jaw muscles, otherwise known as trismus. Therefore, even though he was thirsty, he couldn't open his mouth to drink. Since he couldn't breathe on his own either, doctors had to sedate him, put a breathing tube down his throat, and connect him to a ventilator. They gave him 3,000 units of tetanus immune globulin, the diphtheria, tetanus, and acellular pertussis vaccine, DTaP, and antibiotics. A 6-year-old on a mechanical ventilator is not a pleasant sight. Things got worse before they got better. The neck and back arching got more severe. His heart began racing. He developed high blood pressure. His body temperature went up to 104.9 degrees Fahrenheit. He continued to have muscle spasms. These situations necessitated various different medications and 44 days on the mechanical ventilator. During that time, he also couldn't eat or drink anything, relying on intravenous fluids and feeding. Jeff Kennedy, a paramedic with Bi-County Ambulance Service of Yuba City, California, talks with New Orleans resident Altair Gable about her tetanus and hepatitis A and B shots on Tuesday, September 13, 2005 in the French Quarter of New Orleans, Louisiana. Photographer, Oscar Sosa / Bloomberg News. Bloomberg News. Fortunately, modern medicine rescue. D. The child. Tetanus can be deadly, with 13.2% of people who get tetanus not surviving. But this boy survived and eventually returned to running and bicycling. Of course, he didn't just do these things and could do other normal activities as well. All told, this 6-year-old was in the intensive care unit for 47 days, other parts of the hospital for 10 more days, for a total of 57 days in the hospital, and then at a rehabilitation center for 17 additional days. This was expensive as heck, resulting in $811,929 in hospital charges, which is much more than a vaccine costs. This sum did not even include other costs such as the air transport that was involved in getting him to the hospital in the first place, the stay in the rehabilitation center, and the follow-up that occurred in outpatient clinics. Oh, guess what? After all of this happened, after seeing their child go through this ordeal, after hearing the doctors explain the risks and benefits of the tetanus vaccine, the child's family still refused to allow their child to get a second dose of the DTaP vaccine and any other recommended routine vaccine. Obviously, over $800,000 in medical costs and seeing their child on a ventilator was not enough to sway their minds. Wonder what the child will think about all this when he becomes a legal adult. Tetanus used to be a lot more common. Since the 1940s there's been a 95% drop in tetanus cases and a 99% decline in tetanus-related deaths. Why the decrease? It wasn't supplements. It wasn't homeopathic regimens. It wasn't magic. It was in big part because use of the tetanus toxoid-containing vaccine became widespread and routine. Dropping vaccination rates may mean that this disease will make a comeback. The only real way that getting tetanus will prevent cancer is if it kills you so that you don't have to worry about cancer later. That would be a rather drastic cancer prevention method. Tetanus is not your friend. In fact, if you don't get vaccinated, you could get ST. If'd by tetanus.